What would happen if you took two of the biggest rising female stars in combat sports and put them in a ring together, even though they compete in different disciplines now? Both Dakota Ditcheva and SMILLA Sundell have a foundation in kickboxing. Each of them possesses the type of power that can radically change their opponent's fortunes in the blink of an eye. And when it comes to finishing instincts, they're both unquestionably elite. Will it be the youth and technical savvy of SMILLA Sundell, or the size and lethal attack of Dakota Ditcheva? This is Fighting is Art. Let's get into it. Dakota Ditcheva, fighter profile. Dakota Ditcheva is the crown jewel of the PFL roster right now, a genuinely exciting flyweight prospect who is emerging as one of the most popular rising stars to come out of the European scene. She has the power to really hurt her opponents, and more importantly, she knows exactly how to proceed once she does. In terms of MMA, there might not be another flyweight on the planet who could stand with her, and that includes UFC champ Valentina Shevchenko. SMILLA Sundell, fighter profile. But while Dakota is making waves in Europe, SMILLA Sundell is tearing up the scene in Asia. She is undoubtedly one of the most exciting fighters on the ONE Championship roster, though he's still young enough to make a switch to MMA. At 20 years old, Muay Thai is very much at the center of her plans for now, and like Ditcheva, she possesses a real desire to hurt her opponents in there, and her record shows it. She might be a strawweight, but she has power that's uncommon in that weight class. Dakota Ditcheva, strengths and weaknesses. Considering her background was entirely in Muay Thai, Ditcheva is a supremely well-rounded fighter. She has power for the division and an uncanny ability to secure a finish when she smells blood. Can she grapple effectively against a competent opponent? Who knows? But she has shown a lot of positives so far. Because she tends to finish everyone so quickly, we don't know exactly how good her cardio is, but we'd only be speculating if we said it was a weakness. Dakota Ditcheva, key performances. Ditcheva versus Catherine Koraginas. Ditcheva had an undeniable air of confidence to her when she stepped in there with Catherine Koraginas.
Ditcheva switches stances after that kick attempt.
Feeling out processes for Dakota are rarely long, and in this fight, she seemed pretty comfortable early on.
Well, now trying to push the arm, and she will land knees with the quickness. Saw in her last fight dropping.
Ditcheva showed herself to be by no means a one-trick pony in this fight, adding in other aspects of her skill set.
Great job of staying, keeping her back again.
Her opponent's attempts to stifle her were clearly not working.
With a club and a right hand.
And when Dakota got some space, she closed the show with an emphatic statement finish. Dakota Ditcheva versus Gina Bishop. Gina Bishop found herself on the receiving end of a mauling at the hands of Ditcheva.
In the parlay, and also we threw a little sprinkle on by TKO or KO. I will tell you, the confidence that she's going to have now getting up is going to be unbelievable.
And if you know anything about Ditcheva, you'll know she rarely lets opponents off the hook when she hurts them.
And Ditcheva beckons Gina Bishop back to her feet and goes immediately on the attack.
Bishop in trouble.
It was the type of big statement win she'd been looking for.
The doubter.
That's legit power for the 125 division. There's no denying it.
Her way in, a teep, and then a straight right hand that puts Bishop back on the ground.
Dakota Ditcheva versus Malene Hermansen. This fight showcased the wrestling skills of Ditcheva. Testing the distance early,
It's a good way to deal with that.
Dakota tore through her opponent's knees with no care. She changed stances like prime stylebender and employed her long legs.
Ditcheva very willing to switch stances. As we've seen a couple times already. There's a clinch now. We've seen it.
And the knees again was the weapon of destruction.
Her knees are very nasty.
Then Dakota threw Hermansen around like a rag doll.
A little bit of space. And at that point.
For a minute, Dakota practiced her wrestling game on her opponent,
I like seeing this from Ditcheva. I like seeing the growth in her game.
doing her best Khabib impression. From the top position, Dakota transitioned to taking Hermansson's back and locked in a rear naked choke to end the fight, securing the first submission win of her MMA career.
Good job from Hermansson rolling in there.
Hermansson looking to scramble. She got the back and she's got it. That's the sponsor of the chin.
The striker kickboxer did not only show that she has great grappling defense, she also showed her ability to grapple offensively and choke her opponents to sleep if necessary.
From the striker, the kickboxer.
Dakota Ditcheva versus Valentina Scatizzi. Valentina Scatizzi had a very tough assignment in front of her, and her early pressure was clearly only getting her tagged.
Scatizzi in the southpaw stance, coming out aggressive.
Early attempts to wrestle Dakota did not produce the results she was expecting.
Got the hands locked. See if she can get Dakota's hips off the cage. Put her on her back.
And when she finally broke free, she punished her opponent for even trying.
He talks about Brendan.
Exactly.
Good work by Dakota maintaining balance. And look at that.
Dakota was truly on fire here. At range, in close, everywhere.
Tried to drag Valentina Scatizzi. Oh, nice right hand. Drives it straight
Was
through.
clean. Beautiful from Dakota. Beautiful punch. This could be it, guys.
She messed up Scatizzi's eye so badly that the ref called the fight off then and there.
That eye. Guys, we might not see number 2 with that eye looking like it does. I think the doctor's going to step in and stop this.
For moaning Dakota Ditcheva versus Chelsea Hackett. Chelsea Hackett was clearly dealing with some technical and physical deficits coming into this one.
In the black kit, Chelsea Hackett with that push kick in the white. Straight away with the low kick.
But she did try her best to stifle Dakota early by pushing her up against the fence.
Behind Dakota. Dakota's trying to dig that left elbow in, trying to turn herself.
All she was doing was delaying the inevitable.
Work here by Chelsea Hackett to keep Dakota Ditcheva defensive in this position. So many.
Little did she know that Ditcheva was ready to give her a taste of her own medicine.
Dakota Ditcheva and Chelsea Hackett. Ditcheva makes the playoffs with a win of any kind.
And as soon as Ditcheva found her opening, she ripped through Hackett's defenses.
Those knees are brutal.
Oh, nasty combination. And the body work, and that'll do it.
SMILLA Sundell, strengths and weaknesses. Sundell is, of course, a striker by trade, and a very technically sound kickboxer whose ability to fight grueling wars in the clinch is a real asset. One of Sundell's biggest strengths is her excellent cardio, something that allows her to maintain a high level of volume into the later rounds. She most certainly has a killer instinct, which could make things very interesting in there with Ditcheva. Of course, as a kickboxer, her grappling is not going to be up to par with a mixed martial artist, and she does get hit a little more than she'd like, but her chin is sturdy. SMILLA Sundell. Key performances. SMILLA Sundell versus Natalia Diachkova. SMILLA was as locked in as can be coming into this one, eager to make the type of statement that would continue to grow her viral fame. And Sundell wasted absolutely no time putting the pressure on her adversary.
World champion. This one's scheduled for 5 rounds. We are underway. One has the greatest roster of world champions.
But Diachkova was competent in striking on the back foot, and you could see that she was having early success.
But gotta wonder if the weight cut. Big right hand. 2 right hands.
Make no mistake, Sundell was getting tagged frequently in this opening round, and her face was starting to show it.
You just see the scorecard on the reddened face of Sundell from these shots.
At this point, even the commentators were beginning to express their doubts over SMILLA's ability to get the win.
And that'll be telling to see as we head and progress along in the fight.
And it was at that exact point when she delivered the goods, turning up the heat on her opponent instantly, blasting through her in a matter of seconds for the TKO win. brutal win that literally came out of nowhere. SMILLA Sundell versus Alicia Rodriguez. In this fight against Alicia Rodriguez, Sundell came out of the gates looking to make a point, throwing with real intensity. Volume is always a huge part of her best performances, and here, Rodriguez was immediately dealing with a lot more output from Sundell than she likely expected.
SMILLA will keep an impressive pace the entire fight.
If there were just a few more seconds in round one, Sundell might have gotten the job done with a first-round finish.
Nearing the end of the first round.
Sundell's mean boxing mechanics were on full display throughout, and she always made sure to rip the body whenever possible.
Can and has run that kind of pace. She won't punch herself out. Rodriguez going backwards, she just ate a right.
This was a truly grueling pace, and it was clear that one of these fighters was feeling it more than the other.
Spear elbow that she just comes in with. Good hand combinations.
And when the hammer came down, only Rodriguez's will to stay on her feet was keeping this bout alive. Because from her side, all chance of winning the fight was clearly gone. SMILLA Sundell versus Deandra Martin, proving to be the perfect mix of love and violence. She opened with violent jabs,
Size of the arms on Deandra. Long reach on the Aussie. Goes straight up the center.
and she tried to decimate Deandra with every shot.
Tucking the chin. SMILLA goes body up.
Hurricane was a menace at range and in the clinch.
Early jabs are going to tell you a lot. Look at her, beautiful use of the range and the reach from Sundell. Now they're tied upside the clinch. Deandra Martin needs to deal with that jab.
Kept that right glove up. That's why that left hook route. Already Deandra's been hurt, I feel, here by the left hand of SMILLA.
Ball defender just coming right at your face. And you're used to defending those big pillows.
SMILLA. Lots of clinching.
Walking her enemy down with a predatory instinct.
Setting up some of those round kicks.
She bombarded the head and torso.
Front kick. Front kick to stop getting backed up here by the Swede.
Deandra's face was already showing damage, but the Australian tried to prove her words correct and refused to be outmuscled.
Martin's going to stop this forward pressure. Look at Sundell just walking her down.
Illegal under Muay Thai rules. The Aussie, as you said, needs to stop getting backed up here by the Swede. Nice high kick from Deandra.
This only made Sundell more angry.
Jab 2, body shot from SMILLA Sundell.
Pulverizing her rival with knees, karma was immediate.
Dangerously low.
Sundell's got a really strong clinch, and the way she's able to control. Like,
Wow, the body.
Deandra was now contemplating all her trash talk.
Locks up the arm, isolates it, boom, fires in the knee.
SMILLA continued the beatdown in the pocket.
30 seconds to go in this opening round. Her feet, the elbows coming into play now from the Swede.
The head there inside that clinch, but she's got to deal with the inside control that Sundell gets.
15 more seconds to go here.
How the girls looked in between the rounds was vastly contrasting.
Back in just as tight. You got to work your hands back in, or you.
In the second round, SMILLA knew she needed to eat some to land some.
Got that classic Muay Thai push kick, and then she feints in, steps in with the jab.
Deandra's finding the range now with the right hand. She's caught her with 2 in the last 10 seconds. Spins her around. Can she work those elbows the corner spoke about? There's the elbow that kicks. Round kick from, because I know that her head was going precariously low in the clinch of the first round. Nice deep.
Lefts and rights and elbows made SMILLA's face swell up grotesquely.
Short range elbow whenever there's a little bit of separation, but Sundell needs to keep things tighter or separate further out and counter.
It's in the first. She's picked it up here in the second. Front kick.
A big knee to the midsection pulverized Deandra's baby factory, and she sent her crashing to the mat once more.
Left hook just glances the nose from SMILLA. Deandra, though, being forced back again, and SMILLA puts that vice leg to the body, folds her in half.
With the Aussie getting back up, the body shots remained SMILLA's weapon of choice, sending her rival crashing with another ripping body shot.
But it's going to be another 10. Oh, second knockdown. 3. This is not good.
And Deandra was saved by the bell.
Deandra's got to stay on her feet for the final 10 seconds. Nice front kick.
But not for long. In the third, Sundell came to close the show.
Right there, those body knees are something special. I really like
The 17-year-old was willing to exchange in the fire.
Let's see if she can do it again in the third.
It's hard to believe, Dragon. She's a teenager. She's 17.
17 years old,
I mean,
man.
that's a lot. Meet the power, the work rate, 17 years old.
Martin, does she look like anybody else yet?
With a wild killer instinct, she went upstairs, and perfect left hooks forced the referee to save her foe from long-term damage.
It is total ownership from SMILLA Sundown, and the corners have to go out. You've got to return. That's it.
Despite being new to the MMA gloves, SMILLA completely crushed her rival to pieces. Some damage. SMILLA Sundell versus Milana Bielogierlik. When she faced kickboxing champion Milana Bielogierlik, the star girl landed a ferocious kick that echoed her name as the next big thing in women's combat sports. Her Serbian opponent, Milana Bielogierlik, was by no means ill-matched for the teenage phenom, and she possessed a vicious spinning fist in her arsenal. SMILLA opened with ferocity, promising to deliver a knockout.
SMILLA, wise idea, hand combinations together.
And her opponent replied with ferocity.
Counter right hand, landed by middle relish.
So it became a war.
SMILLA's got to be careful not to walk in too deep, but I like the body roll. Oh, left hook to the body, right?
The teenager pulverized the body and the head with no mercy.
Beauty from Sundell.
But Milana was not just a punching bag.
Clinching. Not allowed to clinch a bit. The volume so high in this first round from both ladies. Shots. Levelers with the hooks. Very content to stand in there and train.
She took SMILLA's best shots. And Milana stood her ground. Milana released her Sunday strike, countering with spinning fists.
Yeah, she's not afraid to take a shot.
But the Swedish monster had her number. Buckling her rival's knees with a pop to the jaw. SMILLA destroyed Milana's insides with no remorse. Dazzled and stunned, SMILLA came into the third looking for a finish. The Hurricane fought even more ferociously. Pulverizing the Serbian left, right, and center. Milana was left a punching bag. And she suffered the damaging meant for multiple opponents. Milana survived to hear the final bell, and SMILLA won the fight by decision. Fight prediction. So how would the fight go? Well, obviously under MMA rules, Dakota would easily score the takedown and dominate. But if we're talking pure kickboxing, then things will undoubtedly get interesting. Dakota is the naturally bigger fighter, and we have to assume that she will still hold the power advantage. But the elite stamina of SMILLA could make things very interesting if the fight goes late. But a finisher like Dakota doesn't look like she will be denied by a smaller opponent. And with her technical skills and physicality, we think she could take Sundal out in under 2 rounds. But who do you think would get the better of a fight between these two if it were fought in Muay Thai? Would it be Dakota Ditcheva or SMILLA Sundal? Let us know your exact round and method prediction in the comments section below.